We welcome you to Atlanta. It's time for the Friday Walk-Thru presented by the West Virginia Lottery. I'm Tony Caridi along with Coach Dwight Wallace getting set for the big one, West Virginia against the Crimson Tide of Alabama. So these are interesting, aren't they, Coach? These opening games of the season. They drive coaches absolutely crazy because each side now has had a complete off season to get ready for what the other guy does. Let's talk here about Dana Holgorsen first off. Teams that have had success, and there have been so few against Alabama, have had success playing it quick. That's what Dana likes to do. How do you play quick against such a great unit?
Well, it's tough. I think first downs are really key. Whenever you're going up tempo, you can't get behind the yardstick. So I think first downs are going to be very key. We could see some real pressure on first downs from this group, especially in Alabama front seven that is supposed to be as good as they've had in a long time. So a huge challenge. But we've got some unknowns too. I think that's the one thing about first games, a lot of surprises on both sides.
You're a former college quarterback, a former coach of quarterbacks at the college level, a former offensive coordinator. How much better in your mind can Clint Trickett be in year two at WVU in comparison to the first season?
Well, I think we could see a lot of improvement. I think that one of the things we really struggled with last year was communication. And I think when you're in Dana's offense, and it is creative and it's difficult to defend and there are a lot of pluses to it, the one hurdle, though, is you've got to get the quarterback over the communication hurdle. And I think that that's one thing that's very, very key. And I think in the offseason, that happened. I think this spring you saw a Clint Trickett that was much more comfortable. He was in charge of the offense. He looked to the sideline to get the signal. And before the signal was completed, he knew where we were going with that thing. So I think they're on the same page. That's going to help a lot.
A year ago, Alabama played in this game against Virginia Tech here in Atlanta. Special teams were huge. They returned a punt and a kick for touchdowns. That's the thing you don't often talk about this time of the year in special teams. Massive in this game. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh, I agree. I think that that's the one thing in first games, in openers, you really look for the open field situations where you can get the turnovers, you can turn the game around. And our special teams have come a long way. I thought last year our cover teams got a whole lot better. Our kickers are established. And so I feel comfortable about going in against these guys with special teams. But no, make no mistake, they're good. They're very skilled.
No question about that. Should be a lot of fun. First ever meeting between these two schools, West Virginia and Alabama. Kickoff is set for 3:30. We'll have comprehensive coverage here on the Mountaineers Sports Network. That'll do it for Coach Wallace. I'm Tony Caridi, and this has been the Friday Walk-Thru.